Hello and welcome to today's video. We're going to look at a few injury updates from the Thunder Valley National, including Tom Vial and Guillaume Ferez. Then we'll look at the formal injury update on Red Bull KTM MXGP rider and title contender Jeffrey Herlings that was released today. We'll then take a look at Chance Hymas and what he had to say regarding his very first moto podium. And finally, we'll be talking to a special guest. Before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that my magazines are available on the mxnetwork.com or the link in the description. If you want to support me directly, that's the best way to do it. The latest edition out now is the Fox Raceway National Edition starring Honda HRC's Jet Lawrence. It's only $4.99, so go snag one. Anyway, before we get into the news today, I have a special guest, and that is the guy who gave some factory riders a run for their money in this past race, and that is Grant Harlan. Let's call him up. Alright, today's special guest is Manluck Rock River Yamaha rider Grant Harlan. Grant has really made some strides in the 450 class, so the last time we spoke was towards the end of the Supercross season, and you were really picking up speed in that 450. And it looks like you kept up that momentum in the outdoors. Tell me how you feel so far.
Yeah, it's been good. It's nice coming into the outdoor season with a lot of riding and racing under my belt, and some confidence. So normally I come in, with a couple of days of riding on a bike that I haven't raced. So yeah, I think it's been nice to be able to show what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, you've really showed us that you're a top contender. Now, Fox Raceway, you started off on a pretty good foot. You went 9-6 for, I believe, what was it, 7th overall?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so take us through Fox Raceway. Was there any issues that day, or were you pretty comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I ran into a couple issues throughout the day, like practice, or the first practice, I had a clutch let go on me for whatever reason, and then barely got the bike going in time for the second practice, so I mean that was a little bit stressful, but other than that, my starts were good, and kind of got into the series.
Yeah, and then Hangtown was a complete opposite day for you. So
yeah,
first moto 19th, and then the DNS. I think they marked the DNS, but weren't you involved in the second moto crash?
Yeah, so Hangtown actually felt pretty good in practice. I think I was 12th or something. Maybe 15th, whatever. But I felt really good on that track. I liked being out there. First moto, got tangled up, on the first lap somewhere, bent the bars, broke the clutch, and everything like that. So I was kind of riding a twisted up motorcycle, running pretty good times. And I'm like, dude, if I can get a good start in the next moto, like, I think, I could have gotten, that top 5, maybe.
Yeah.
But didn't make it out of the first corner, which sucks, but kind of got saved by the hay bales there, so happy to be healthy from that one.
Yeah, that crash in that first turn was rough, so I remember watching the race, I'm like, oh, is that really Grant? Yep, that's Grant sitting over there. I hope he's not hurt. But on to Thunder Valley, you really, really pushed some factory guys. I mean, you went 8-7 for, I didn't mark what it was for overall, but 8-7 was pretty good. You were battling with at least seeing Cerullo for a while. What was that like, man?
Yeah, so first moto, like, I was probably anywhere from like 8 to 10 on the start, and just kind of was putting in the laps. Got a couple guys, got passed by a couple guys, so just it was kind of like the first moto at Paula, where I kind of just finished around where I started. Wasn't anything spectacular, nothing terrible though. And then the second moto, obviously we got the really good start. Was second around the first corner behind Jet, and I did get past quite a bit the first couple laps. My line choices weren't very good, and didn't really have the groove going early. But towards the end of the moto, I think after halfway, before the 10 minutes to go mark, I got to the back of AC, and at one point I even got around him kind of when they cut to me on the broadcast, and he got me back, and I was like, dang it, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like it works pretty hard to get around him, and I got passed back, which is always tough. And I mean, I did what I could to try and get back around him, but it was a kind of a battle to the death, and I lost it. So bummer, but I feel like the effort and the fact that I'm even up there is cool. So.
Well, yeah, even if you didn't make the pass stick, I mean, all that stuff you learned and you showed yourself that you can battle with them guys. I mean, I think throughout the season you can definitely stay around that top 5 position, especially with a good start. I mean, that second moto start, what you said, just bad line choices what attributed to your dropping like 5 positions in the first couple laps? That's what you think it was, though?
Yeah, like, I've never really been super good on my opening laps. Line choice being one of them. You know, I always like to be able to learn from getting past, which I'd be nice if I could just, you know, come out on the first lap and be the guy with the best lines and the speed. But, you know, I normally build into it and, you know, kind of figure the track out as the moto goes on. And, you know, towards the end of the moto, I can be strong where some of the other guys might be falling off a little bit.
Yeah. All right, now that you've showed yourself and everybody else that you can run with the top 5 guys, what would you say is your goal for the rest of the season, or does your team have a specific goal for you?
I would say the goal is to keep doing what I'm doing. I think, you know, with the good Supercross season I had, having 94 points, I think I'm in a pretty good spot for the SMX playoffs. So I think just being in that top 10 every weekend, scoring good points, and because, you know, I'm going to miss 2 races for World Supercross. So,
oh, you are going to that? I didn't even see that on there. I looked at all the riders. I didn't even see your name on there.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that as well. So
okay.
The consistent points each weekend to stay in the top 20 for that is kind of my goal.
Well, thanks for coming on today, man. I really see you being a top 5 guy, and honestly, I think you could be like the next Masterpool, man. Ty Masterpool, what he did last weekend. I think you and him were kind of stealing the broadcast from everybody, being the smaller team privateer guys fighting with the factory guys. It's pretty insane, but good luck, and I hope to see you up there with the top guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, man. Harlan's a wicked cool guy, and I'm glad to have him on. Hopefully he keeps up that momentum, and maybe we'll have him on for that top 5. Anyway, let's get straight into the news. All right, the first stories I have of the day are regarding injuries. We'll start with Red Bull KTM Factory 250 class rider Tom Vialle. Vialle came into the series expected to be a title contender. So far he's been alright, but just a little off pace, finishing 4th overall in the first 2 rounds of the series. Coming into Thunder Valley, he was determined to be better. In the first moto, he was involved in that huge first turn pileup and had to work his way through the field. He made it up to 16th when he crashed again, this time hurting his wrist, thus knocking him out of Moto 1. Luckily, he had lapped a lot of guys, so that put him 29th in the first moto. In the second moto, he did the sight lap and claimed it was too painful, so he sat out the race, which led us all to believe that it was more serious of an injury. Well, Vialle came out late last night to give us an update. Vialle said in a statement, quote, "I actually felt really good on the track from the first practice. Although, unfortunately, I had a crash on the start straight during the first moto, which took down a lot of riders. My bike was banged up after that. It was a big crash. I came back from last to around 16th. Then with 2 laps to go, I made a mistake and crashed again. I hurt my left wrist, although it's nothing serious, but I was unable to do the second moto after riding the sighting lap. It wasn't really painful, but my wrist felt weak, so we decided not to line up, and hopefully I can ride next week at High Point, which is the goal." This unfortunate crash led to Tom Vialle dropping from 4th in the championship standings to 8th. All right, our next injury update is regarding Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider Guillaume Ferez. Ferez has been wicked fast this year and was expected to become a podium contender soon. Well, unfortunately, he was involved in that nasty first turn pileup as well. He was seen carrying his left arm and walking off the track. He was later seen with the Alpine Stars medic crew and with a cast of sorts wrapped around his left arm. If you haven't seen this nasty crash, here it is. Definitely a gnarly one. Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha released an update on him last night in a press release saying, quote, "Unfortunately, Guillaume Ferez was injured in a big crash after the start of the first moto and did not race. Ferez had another good qualifying effort in 7th. Unfortunately, the Spaniard got caught up in the big crash after the start of the first moto and broke his arm. Ferez was attended to on-site and saw evaluation at a local hospital and underwent surgery yesterday in Vail, Colorado. An update to follow at a later date." This one really sucks to see. Ferez was making such good strides in the class. I mean, he was seriously looking to be a podium contender pretty soon. His first 4 finishes of the season were 8-5 in Pala and 6-8 in Hangtown, so he's a top 10 regular. and obviously pushing into that top 5 group. I mean, I hope this kid has a speedy recovery. I really want to see him back soon. He was looking so good. On to the formal update on Jeffrey Herlings. Yesterday, we reported on his crash and his potential injuries. Well, today we have the actual injury update straight from KTM, and it's not good. Today, his team confirmed that he sustained a cracked vertebrae and will miss the next 2 GPs in Indonesia. Here's what KTM said in their press release. The 28-year-old Dutchman crashed while leading the first moto of the Grand Prix in Germany in Tuchenthal. Herlings was able to remount and complete the final laps of the race, scoring 1 point for 20th place, but felt pain and discomfort in his neck. An initial scan of the track revealed a potentially cracked C5, and an MRI on Monday confirmed the injury. The convalescence means he'll sit out the Grand Prix in Sumbawa and Lombok at the end of this month and the beginning of July. This news is really awful to hear. Herlings was looking so good all year. I thought we finally had a new Herlings that was more conservative but still fast. He was inching closer to passing Jorge Prado in the points. I believe he was only within 10, 20 points before this race, so it's unfortunate, but hopefully he heals up quick and we can see him back on the line soon. At this point, it's just sad to see him missing races. On to some more positive news, and that is Honda HRC's Chance Hymas earning his very first moto podium. Following an impressive amateur career, Hymas made his pro debut last year just for a couple rounds. Now in 2023, he made his full-time pro debut. He's been doing relatively well so far this year, but in Thunder Valley seems to have found his stride. Hymas started off the national qualifying 6th, which isn't too bad. In Moto 1, he was involved in that massive first turn pileup, but still managed to climb his way all the way back up to 11th. In Moto 2 is a different story. Hymas got a great start running around 5th for the first few laps. Only 5 laps in, Hymas made the pass on Jordan Smith for 3rd and ran there the entire race, even battling for 2nd. But he ended up sticking to that 3rd place position, thus earning his very first moto podium finish. Hymas was asked to comment on this milestone in the post-race interview. Hymas said, quote, "This weekend was really good for me. Even with the first turn pileup in Moto 1, coming back from dead last to 11th gave me confidence going into the 2nd moto. I got a 5th place start, worked my way up to 3rd, and got to battle for 2nd place. I wish I had made the pass, but I'm pumped on getting my first professional podium." It's truly awesome to see this young buck finding his pace in the top group. A lot of people began to doubt his skill last year and coming into this year as he didn't really have the speed, but here he is, right where he belongs. Now, I see some podiums coming from this kid in the near future. He really showed his speed this weekend, and that's great. All right, that's all the news I have for you guys today. If you enjoy my content, subscribe on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, hit follow. If you want to support me directly, head to themxnetwork.com or click the link in the description. Snag a magazine or two. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next news video.